What is the actual truth of the Labubu doll? Hello everyone and welcome once again. So today we are going to discuss all about this Labubu doll and also certain 2 to 3 topics. Let's go. Recently, a very scary looking doll named Labubu has become so viral that and every other minute we see a new reel related to that. A lot of celebrities like Ananya Pandey, Dua Lipa, etc. are promoting it. Labubu was created by a Chinese artist who was inspired by Nordic folklore. It is the main character of the monsters. Now, this is like depiction of Nordic gods and goddesses, and through that he got the inspiration of the Labubu doll, and this was made back in 2015, and that time no one knew what this thing was. But suddenly once Rihanna, a famous American singer, posted it, like she was wearing a purse and there the Labubu was kept. The doll instantly got famous, and also Blackpink's Lisa, Rose, etc. promoted it. Lisa was saying like Zimomo has a tail, Labubu doesn't have a tail.
And this guy has a tail. They call Simomo. If she doesn't have tail, we call her Labubu.
And I personally think she sounded very desperate. She was literally moaning. A lot of Bollywood celebrities are also promoting it. If you ask me what I think of this doll, I personally rate it 50 out of 100. I don't think it is the cutest doll ever. I also don't think it is the ugliest doll. It does look cute, but it looks scary. And I think it is overrated. Also, because of this branding strategy, coping up with the emotions of people and using celebrities, big ones, for marketing and promotion, the CEO of Pop Mart, Wang Ning, became a billionaire within one day. Not weeks, not months. Within one day. $1.4 billion he earned, and he is now listed in top 10 billionaires of 2025. But recently, since the past 1 to 2 weeks, we see another new trend that many people are burning Labubus. Like saying that they cause scratches and they pass negative energy and they sound demonic and all. And many people are saying that Labubu is demonic, even my sister. So actually, Labubu looks very similar to Pazuzu or Pazuzu. What Pazuzu is a demon, and he is like probably the Mesopotamian region, I don't know, and he is like known to kill people and all, and he is also very scary. So he does look like Labubu. I don't think that Pazuzu is like related to Labubu, or they might be inspired. Now see, there can be coincidences of a lot of things even though they are not at all related. I am skeptical of this trend that somewhat things could be there, but we ultimately don't know. So we should be very alerting, and we should not unnecessarily believe all the lies. Like, okay, if you believe it's a Pazuzu, I to believe little bit. A lot of Christian influencers, Muslim influencers, that other people are also saying, especially the conspiracy theorists, that Labubu is a demonic doll.
The Simpsons also sound predicting it before the Pazuzu.
And I personally don't inherently think it is demonic. Unless and until we hear from the owner, we don't know exactly. And also, a lot of Christians are upset because it is inspired by some non-Christian literature. See, just because something is inspired from an LGBTQ person or a non-Christian person or a heritage or whatever, does not automatically make it sinful. A lot of secular pieces are actually delivering what is right rather than so-called Christian or truth-seeking sources. So we should understand that just because he got inspired by Nordic folklore does not inherently mean that Labubus are not biblical or not correct. We should not ignore. We should still be discerning. In Isaiah, we can see that women were sewing magic charms on their cloaks and veils, and they also wore them as bracelets and all. And also, we can see a lot of those things like the evil eye and also the use of crystals, the belief in a lot of new age things. We should be extremely beware of these things. Using evil eye, etc., is not a complete sin in and of itself, but it is a sinful practice. because we must understand that we are called to represent what is right. If you are believing that this thing is going to solve your problem, then absolutely that's unbiblical, it's wrong, it's impractical. These things don't affect at all. And also, like, okay, if you are using that thing as a reminder that evil things could happen, that is also not completely, because this evil eye and all those symbols are itself rooted in wrong things, in the occult. And also, if we are having good intentions, if you're wearing it as fashion, even I rarely still do it, we must, like, that is a discouraged thing. We must not love the world or anything in this world. Now this does not mean physical worldly things like the nature and all, we should love that. I'm saying the wrong things. We are called to be separated from the world, in the world but not of the world. So of course people raising questions about labubus are correct, but we also see that suddenly, something secular or something trending or something, non-Christian thing, pops up. A lot of the conservative Christians peer automatically mocks it without even reading the history, the context, the meaning, etc. Like 20 years ago Pokemon came. Now certainly there are a lot of, anti-biblical things like talking to the spirits and all, the elemental signs. There exist elemental signs, they are important, but they don't affect our spirituality. This does not mean that we should stop watching Pokemon altogether. I definitely want something which is more correct, more wholesome, more righteous, but we must understand that everything, every time, it doesn't revolve around us. We should be very, very realistic. And we should understand that yes, you can like Taylor Swift, you can like Pokemon, you can like anime, you can like Labubus, while still be discerning. A lot of people are preferring more ugly, ugly things. Mary archived, she said that this is Chinese propaganda. At least Japan and Korea make things cute. This Labubu is like very, very fishy. This is the box, and we can see that it is for aged above 15 years, probably because of its scariness and adult centered ones, which is actually very skeptical.
My cutesy Labubu.
A lot of childless cat ladies are using, they're treating labubus as children. I definitely agree, some of them do. Labubus are not your children. And okay, if you want to learn parenting skills from those toys by playing, that's perfectly fine. That's an intricate part of our design as women. But prolonged attachment, as if it's your child or something more important than humans, is an extremely wrong belief. Humans are more precious than these toys, and these toys don't even look pretty. This toy is actually very, very similar to Tatya Winsu of our like Marathi culture. Like, he scares away the ghosts and all that. There is a huge amount of the lipstick effect we saw in the Stanley Cup 2 years ago. Now we are seeing it in Labubus, and I definitely think a lot of them, especially the ones who have been burnt, are going to end up in landfills. So we must understand that this lipstick effect, which basically means having the emotional attachment, having, the feelings and the temptation that it is going to give you validation, is temporary. We should not rely on material things to determine our worth. Also, if we look, labubus are quite expensive than a lot of toys. So if you are like, you don't have any budget, then don't get it. It is simply a waste of money. You don't need to stick to every single trend, especially if it overruns your budget or is going to harm something or is morally wrong. We see this huge rise in consumerism and overconsumption, and you should ask yourself before buying these things. I personally will not encourage you all to get a lot of labubus for fun's sake, but that's perfectly fine. I myself made a labubu from stocks. Must stay away from all kinds of witchcraft and occult. About the manifestation thing. Law of attraction basically means that what you attract, that you will get. Similar to manifestation, that you speak things into existence and you will get that thing. And I think that this is not completely practical or biblical. We must understand that ultimately God is in charge of the things, but he has also given us free will. So yes, see, just sitting there chanting mantras or like saying, oh, I will attract this, attract that, will not attract it. Doing those things or doing through witchcraft, manifesting through witchcraft, is wrong. If it does not contradict what God has planned for you, if it is morally right, then working upon it, dreaming upon it, visualizing it is not wrong. that is manifestation. That is then not wrong. But we should not rely on ourselves, because manifestation exchanges the God for the God of self. So we should be focusing on praying rather than manifesting. And only praying or chanting will not heal. Act. Chip and Joanna Gaines' show Back to the Home features a gay couple who has purchased children through surrogacy. See, I do think this is wrong, because biblically speaking, marriage is between one man and one woman. They are Christians, and that is kind of a Christian show, so that makes it even more problematic. Now, with the case of non-Christian couples, see, the marriage is still valid, but in this case of the LGBTQ couple, no, it's not. God has called it wrong, because there is some wisdom. Gay marriage, though it is legalized by the state, is not legalized by the church. Marriage is explained in the Old Testament, reiterated in the New Testament. Practicing homosexuality is an abomination. This causes like normalization of what is wrong, what is delusional, through the salt of the world. Showing a gay couple and treating them with kindness, or showing that we should love them regardless of what they do, or in some cases they can do better parenting, which is true, is not wrong. But promoting them on the show or like posting them as contestants is wrong. If we substitute husbands and wives, then we can easily substitute the gender. Renowned Protestant preacher John MacArthur passed away recently, and this is a really, really sad news. I pray for his soul. He has reached into the hands of our Lord. And also, he was a man of God. Though I have a lot of theological differences, we can disagree on a lot of things. We cannot ignore his contribution to the Christian Protestant world. He has done a lot of things. He has defended the truth, even though it sounded unpopular. So thank you guys for listening to this episode. Do share your thoughts on Labubus and all. Bye.